so sensitive around here, including mine.
Right.
Hey, the front is not dark, this something went off. Power?
No, we just, Mahadev's not here.
I thought the big guy was here, he maybe did something.
No.
I think that was a message, right? He
Yeah,
invited a tech guy.
yeah, he fixed
The
Oh, yeah,
internet.
that was for the internet, yeah, no, yeah, it was positive. It was positive, but our speed got restored on
So everything is restored now?
Yeah.
I work with AI.
Yeah.
I don't know, I made it up.
I thought words.
That's indelibly clear.
There you go.
Good, right.
Om Tat Sat to all.
Om Tat Sat.
All right.
What's up?
OTS.
Yes.
For a while to realize what that was. People were
Forgot to bring a bag. Just double bag.
FN, Feliz Navidad.
MC.
Everybody
Merry Christmas. That's two bars. And I think what it's saying is that the low battery signal is on if the battery was low.
Yeah.
That's in case because
Is it gonna make a lot of
Yes. Just a
let me change this one as well because we're changing it anyway.
Okay.
People do it. I'm not good on it. I set the phone on the And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji commences tonight's satsang with a Sanskrit peace chant.
Subscribers, 20 million views.
And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji commences tonight's satsang with a Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Our Christmas carol tonight is O Holy Night. Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, nighty one, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, nighty one, oh, night, oh, nighty one. Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. The thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is December the 23rd, 2020, Wednesday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Yoga Vasistha. This is series 2018, class number 300. And now Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gyan Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namam. Om. Adoration to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha, section 39. The topic is Supreme Worship. And this profound wisdom is imparted to sage Vasistha by Lord Shiva. The ideal worship is a revelation of who am I. And who am I means Aham Brahmasmi. All souls trapped in the world of cycle of birth and death, all souls are like reflected suns. And each reflected sun goes through a process of worship, allegorically speaking, to discover I am the sun. So try to see the transition made by the soul from a reflected state. Reflected state is created by illusion, by conditioned mind. Chitta-vritti is the water that is creating that illusion. So from that stage of illusion, the soul continues to aspire for discovering who am I. The entire process is worship of God in the profoundest way. The worship concludes by revelation. Aham Brahmasmi, I am the sun. So all reflection-related realities, reality is a relative term, they were all like mirage. Keeping that in view, we continue. He should give up the sense of individuality. Sense of individuality is maintained by this is me, these things are mine, me and mine. And as I have explained to you, every mantra that uses Namah, Namah is negation of me and mine. Literal meaning of Namah, adorations. I offer adorations to Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. But that adoration, to offer adoration, climaxes with offering all your illusions and to discover I am Brahman. I am Shiva. Also, I have explained that all Ishtadevatas and Ishtadevis, they are adopted in the beginning in a ritualistic state. Your mind goes after their names and forms. Sagun Sakar. As you advance, you continue with your Sagun Sakar worship, but your understanding goes deeper. That God is not just the way it is presented in your picture, deity before you. God is all abstract qualities of compassion, all permeating nature and all those things. So when you move from Sagun Sakar, you are moving into Sagun Nirakar. God is being worshipped on the basis of your mental concepts, but not on the basis of names, not on the basis of form. So whoever may be your deity, your mind goes after the eternal I am. So whether it's Krishna, Rama, Shiva, Devi, Ganesha, whoever is your Ishtadevata, your worship is meant to discover I am Brahman. If that worship is secure, then every ritualistic deed you are doing is successful. All these are the materials for the inner worship of the self. These are expressions of the same self. Therefore, there is no differentiation in them. Nothing is higher or lower, sweeter or bitterer, greater or smaller, implying all the sadhana details. You hold your mala in your hand. Another person says, oh, still you are with mala? Grow up. Not so. Nothing is smaller, nothing is greater. You continue with that understanding that your goal is revelation, aham brahmasmi. That doesn't mean that now you suddenly move away from your ritual disciplines, from your upasana, or whatever sadhana you have been doing. The idea you are Brahman, not the body. That doesn't mean you move away from your food, from your teas, and from all the details. Every detail remains. Every needed detail for your personality. But your inner understanding is beyond Sagun Sakar, Sagun Nirakar, into the realm of Nirgun Nirakar. Highest form of divine worship is the development of equal vision on the basis of constant awareness of I am Brahman. In this state, the mind merges in Brahman with a unique spontaneity. A wise man is full like the full moon. He is endowed with the gentle light of equal vision, is pure as a transparent crystal and as steady as the mountains. Internally is vaster than the sky. Externally, he continues to perform his actions in this relative world process. Such a devotee is my true worshipper. This is the state of Sahaj Samadhi, or the state of Sthit Prajna state, the goal that his heart becomes like a firmament illumined by full moon. His bhavana, his feelings, his sentiments turn into absolute divine love. And therefore, from the heart of a sage resonates the prayer, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. May all be happy. Sarve Santu Niramaya. May all be free of diseases, troubles, vexations. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. May everyone be blessed with sanamati, the right understanding. Ma kaschid dukh bhag bhavet. May sufferings terminate forever. That's the central purpose of saintly existence. His project is not focused on one little corner of the world or a few people around him. Of course, in practice again, you can be limited. Sometimes you'll be limited only to few people. Great rishis of ancient times, they had just counted disciples. But what they brought out, countless people have been reading, enjoying, and being inspired by. Originally given only to few people, counted. So that's detail. He has rent the clouds of ignorance. Therefore, he is not afflicted by desire, even in his dreams. This is an insight being given into the operation of your subconscious. Your subconscious may go on operating depending upon your karmas. But all the operations of your, no matter what type of dream you dream of, your deeper insight, Aham Brahmasmi, remains unbroken, infallible. The mist of egoistic vision has vanished before the rising sun of wisdom. The knower of the self shines like the autumn sky devoid of clouds. Sharad Chandra, autumn sky, full moon in autumn sky is an allegorical symbol of pure, absolute love expressing in your heart. And the subject of that love is the self. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. For the sake of self, all becomes dear. So who is the dearest of all that is dear? Your very self, not the ego. And your very self is a non-dual absolute Brahman. So that absolute reality becomes the predominant state of awareness. Prajnanam Brahma. So, his heart becomes illumined by full moon, allegorically speaking. And the mist of egoistic vision has vanished before the rising sun of wisdom. The knower of the self shines like the autumn sky devoid of clouds. Thus, O sage Vasistha, this self, who is the Lord of the body and the enjoyer of all experiences, should be adored at all times. So this awareness, this increasing revelation that God whom you want to realize and by whom you want to receive fulfillment of your cherished wishes, that God is not far and wide, but the very source of your thoughts is enshrined in the depths of your heart. He is the doer, he is the enjoyer, and he is the experiencer. In simple terms, he is the awareness, all awareness that you experience, so many limitations. All your experiences of awareness are like reflections. Pure awareness is like a big lake, infinite lake. All your experiences are reflections. Reflections create their own drama, but that does not change or affect this purity and sublimity and the tranquility of the pure consciousness. Section 40. The Supreme Self as the essence of God. Lord Shiva continues to instruct sage Vasistha regarding the nature of the highest form of divine worship. This is the highest form of aradhana. Constant awareness of the presence of the self underlying all activities of life is the nature of subjective worship of God. First, to understand, objective worship means go on adoring God in different names and forms. Subjective understanding that your innermost self is in itself the absolute divinity. And coming to next level, it is the subjective that counts ultimately. In sadhana movement, your vision goes both ways. Receive inspiration from the world around you. Receive the glory of God by experiencing the world in different ways. And subjective, direct your attention to who am I, and separating yourself from not self, and so forth. Thus worship, the divine self becomes the remover of the veil of ignorance. Supreme Aradhana brings about sublimation of mala. Impurities are short-circuited energy, and they must be sublimated. And next stage, controlling the vikshepa, countless distractions in your mind, by allowing your mind to understand God alone is reality. One sun expresses as countless reflected suns. So do not go after so many reflected suns. Understand, even though you are going after many deities and many forms of worship, the central core behind it, Brahman. So though in practice you are worshipping different gods, in your heart there is only one absolute. And that absolute is the I am. That's the picture of ideal worshipper. And your worship is para puja, supreme worship. So if you have that type of worship, after mala and vikshepa are removed, avarana is a veil of ignorance. That ignorance becomes dispelled by light of knowledge. An enlightened sage does not create impressions of attachment and hatred while living in the world of time and space. This is the difference between staying unenlightened and being enlightened. If you are unenlightened, then you continue to create karma. And your cherished wishes are in the realm of karma. To have a very good house, to have a wonderful garden, to have all types of imaginations of prosperity and peace. All these create so many cherished desires. And if they are fulfilled, you become so attached to those things that helped you to attain that level. Also, you become attached to objects that gave you so much pleasure. Likewise, when you are obstructed, you develop lots of anger and hate. But the advanced, highest type of sadhana implies if all your cherished wishes are nothing. The supreme cherished wish is to be in the hands of God, become an instrument in divine hands. Let God's will direct your personality. And this simple point has to be understood, otherwise one stays a dull wit. You must understand that no matter how much you may have the clarity of your imagination about the fulfillment of your wish, no matter whatever may be the dream you have, the best of yours, it's coming out of a dull-wit mind. And what's coming out of God's will is countless times greater, million times greater. So do not stay confined to your own egoistic or conditioned will. It's a kind of a swill. Having discovered the underlying essence of all things, his mind does not stop at the fleeting names and forms, but rather discerns into the nature of the self as the basic reality of all that exists. Therefore, a sage is ever free from the impressions of attachment and hatred, raga, dvesha. These impressions of attachment and hatred continue to screen the vision of the self. But when the mind is free from them, the vision of the self shines forth like the sun on a cloudless sky. Try to see how your mind is always colored. God is ever present day and night, transcending time. But mind is colored by raga, things that please you, and dvesha, things that displease you. Mind stays colored. Some colorings are wonderful, red and golden and silvery. Some colorings are dark and terrible. If you study the psychology presented by Raja Yoga, always understand the 5 kleshas. They are all knitted together: ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, and fear of death. And of these kleshas, these 2 are highlighted in your sadhana, because this is for your practical reality. Or always something is likable, something is dislikable. Turn both movements, sublimate them. If raga is sublimated, it becomes bhakti, devotion to God. Because there is nothing that is not God's appearance. In snake on the rope, everything that you see in the snake is nothing but the rope. घट घट में है साईं रमता. So raga is sublimated into love that enfolds all that exists, not one or two. Love that is absolute. And dvesha is the climax of neti, neti, not this, not this. One is following the coloring of prem, love. Another, the coloring of jnana, wisdom. All is God. All is expression of love. That's how raga is transformed. Nothing exists. Nothing belongs to me. The dvesha has reached the highest. Not. Nothing. But this is a profounder understanding. This understanding does not interfere with your practical reality. How can impressions of raga and dvesha exist when the mind is illumined by wisdom? That's called wisdom. All that you are loving, behind your deepest urge is to love God. And that's creating illusions of raga. Holding on to so many things, objects, relations, near and dear ones. Mind is so trapped in just that world of experience is full of raga. And while you deal with raga, every raga movement creates dvesha. In order to secure anything you love, you have to also look at so many things that will obstruct your love. And mind is busy only with all this. On the other hand, supreme aradhana, the highest form of worship, all that you receive by being attached to objects of love, profoundest love is your very essential nature. Your self is prem swarup, embodiment of absolute love. Thus your raga is transformed. And at the same time, putting another way, all are lovable. Adore God in all names and forms. And dvesha is another aspect of the same love. God alone is being loved everywhere. So, all this is God, God alone is. Try to understand, there is no difference. But in statement, they appear different. An enlightened worshipper considers every perception as an offering to the divine self. Every perception, you have liked something, you are contacting the divine self. You have liked it, the like is pointing to God is being reflected in things that you like. You dislike something, it is pointing to the need for vairagya. When you dislike, then you move away from things that you dislike. When there is a hurtful situation, like this bacterial problem of these days, you go into lockdown. So that lockdown movement is vairagya movement. So the world is giving you two types of teachings. The teaching of love of God and the teaching of moving away from the world. Therefore, those situations that create raga, they become opportunities of divine worship. Because in that love, you are finding God. Those things that create dislike, you are finding the message that this world has to be negated. And so if that lesson you learn from your dislikes, you are worshipping Brahman. Your dislike experience enhances your vairagya. Your like experience enhances your bhakti, devotion. And when you are practicing vairagya and bhakti, you are offering the best flowers at the altar of God. So your very experiences are like a stream of worship. And how you interpret in your own consciousness your experiences, there lies the art of worship. In the process of perceiving the objects of the world or the conditions of prosperity and adversity, the senses offer their impressions to the mind. Senses will bring the normal experience. Raga situations, being comfortable, how cute. Dvesha experience seems very uncomfortable, how devilish. But both are opportunities for your profounder worship. The mind offers its concepts to the intellect. So all this you experience, but your intellect that is touched by spiritual insight turns all these experiences as a form of worship of Brahman. Thus, all perceptions of the world are offerings to the divine self. They proceed from the self and merge into the self. It is only the unenlightened ego which continues to create egoistic involvements on the basis of ignorance. Just as water is drawn from the ocean through the process of evaporation, and then through the medium of rains and rivers enters back into the ocean, in the same way, all perceptions of the world emanate from and enter back into the divine self. Apuryamanam achalam pratishtham. Enlightened state is like the ocean. And now think of it, how is the ocean fulfilled? Does the ocean become very happy when so much rain and rivers enter? Ocean is not stupid. Ocean knows that all the rains, rivers and streams, they came from the ocean and they are entering into the ocean. All the world of your experience came from your I am. All your dreams come from you. You sustain it. Into you they enter when you wake up. All this long dream of the world process, you have sustained it through your conditioned mind. And in your enlightened state, they all merge into the self. In brief, unenlightened personality is constantly waiting for being fulfilled by happenings in the world. One type of happening gives you great joy. Another type of happening gives you great sorrow. And you don't know where are you. You are lost. The enlightened one, if water has been sucked up by the heat of the sun, the ocean is not worried about it. It becomes cloud, and cloud ultimately returns. It gets into the shape of rivers and streams, and ultimately they all come into the ocean. The million streams are coming, and the ocean is just the same, because the ocean is not gaining anything. And when lots of water is sucked out of the ocean is not losing anything. One side it is being sucked up, another side it is receiving constantly. Thus, an enlightened yogi does not find the experiences of the world contradictory to the awareness of the self. Just as the ocean does not receive the rivers with a sense of duality, in the same manner, a sage does not perceive the objects of the world with a sense of egoistic duality or a sense of separatedness. Therefore, his mind does not form impressions of attachment or hatred. So no longer his mind creates the kleshas of raga and dvesha, and thereby no other kleshas. And hence all experiences become spontaneous acts of divine worship. And this type of promoting that level, any step you take, that's your real worship. So therefore, that type of worship means your life is constantly flowing with integral yoga. Your action, you continue to do your duties. Your feeling movement continues to be handled by you. Your willing, your reasoning, all go on operating. Nothing is obstructed. But they flow with such harmony and melodious concordance that they bring out the glory of the self. Such a worship, therefore, can be practiced at all times. Limited form of worship, you have to have time, you have to have particular place for worshipping God in a special way. You have to wait for Christmas time or Krishna Janmashtami or Ram Navami. Until then, let him wait. But all these are removed from view, all these distractions. There is perpetual worship. The awareness, I am the self. And any step you are taking to attain that realization, becomes your effective form of worship. In this form of worship, one rises beyond the triad of seer, seen and sight, Triputi. First the stage of Triputi. Think of your dream. When you in your dream, there is a triad: the dream subject, the dream world, the dream experience of pleasure and pain. Wake up, the triad vanishes. Even while dreaming, if you get a special inkling of a vision that it is just a dream, that stage is Jivan Mukti. You are experiencing the world and everything is clearly perceived by you in the form of, say, for example, you are climbing steps. Suddenly you fall and you have injured your foot. Now, while all this is going on, you are also another stage of your own vision. It is a dream. And this is happening in your dream state itself. So that state of vision that looks at it, it's a dream, is characteristic of Jivan Mukti. Because once you look at it as a dream, you are watching it with fun. It is not there. So what does it matter? Foot is injured, okay, let's watch. Now, doctor has come and injury has been healed. Wonderful. But then earthquake came in. So the world turns into Leela of God, and ends up allowing your heart to be full of peace, not full of agitation and vexation and fear, but Param Tripti, supreme fulfillment. That's the state of Jivan Mukti. That's the goal for every individual. Such a worship, therefore, this type of worship does not require a particular time, a particular mode of discipline, a particular yoga. It is all-encompassing movement of aradhana. In this form of worship, one rises beyond the triad. The worshipper merges with the worshipped self, just as an iceberg melts into the ocean. In this divine form of worship, the very ego sense is set aside. O sage, renounce the limited concepts of ritualistic worship. Continue your ritual, but don't stay limited. In this supreme form of divine worship, the deity is not confined to time or space. The God who is worshipped is beyond all names and forms, and beyond all mental concepts. The divinity who is adored within the confines of your mental concepts is not the object of supreme adoration. That's what I explained to you. Sagun Sakar, Sagun Nirakar, These two stages of upasana is based on your mental concept. The highest form becomes nirgun nirakar. Your mind, no matter what concept mind holds, you understand God is totally different, countless. You think of God as bliss. Think of God as perfection. But what's perfection? Is it a confection? So what you understand of bliss, what you understand of perfection, so limited. God is boundless. You use your concepts, no harm, but with that insight that you are not going to stay with your concept. The real experience will wipe away all your attitudes and concepts. So with this I will conclude. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Rasa grace of God over all of you, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Are there any questions tonight?
Pranam Gurudev. Gurudev, it's so profound, it's mind-boggling. You described that the highest sadhana is constant awareness of the presence of self in all activities of life.
Yes.
So is, from a practical standpoint, as a tool, can one use a mantra, japa to...
That's what I've been explaining.
Okay.
Nothing you give up. Every ritual, every detail, every food you eat, chew it. But all this doesn't contradict the deepest level. Rather, all this being correct promotes you to attain the deepest level.
So is that the meaning of mantra chaitanya when that happens?
Yes, that's what implies. Mantra Chaitanya becomes awakened. Your deity begins to smile. Your grace begins to work miracles. That's what happens.
Swamiji described that lucid dream when you are aware that it's a dream.
Yes.
So in the daytime process, that's like the Sakshi Bhav that you keep on going back to when you get dragged into the world. You remind yourself that a little separation from the activities, that's the practice, Sakshi Bhav.
That's in harmony with Sakshi Bhav. Yes. Anything that detaches you from the situation and enables you to have a judgment, evaluation in a correct way. Even if you study, when you are observing things, You have to keep your eye distant from the object. Otherwise, it gets all this messed up.
Swami, you had described recently in Ramayana episode that Hanumanji, when he was sitting on the top of the tree watching Sitaji, you described that was a emblematic of Sakshi Bhav.
Yes. That point was that the more you have faith in God and devotion, faith-based strength enables you to have that type of keeping your head little up so that can observe things in a correct way. If you don't have no strength in your neck. Shraddha-based strength keeps your neck straight. Not joking.
Thank you, Gurudev. It's beautiful.
I'm joking, not joking.
Om Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Okay, I will.